Hello, good morning. Can you believe it? We finally made it. Today is the last day of school. This is the last board meeting update for the school year, as we'll continue the work throughout the summer. But this is the May post board meeting update. And I can't believe another school is wrapped up. I was thinking this morning about how fast this year's gone. It's probably been the fastest year in education for me, which is crazy, especially when you start to think about your own kids and how quickly they grow up. But we look forward to a wonderful summer, and we have summer school starting up next week. We want to encourage all you families to consider having your kids come to summer school. We love having them here and loving having them engaged on our campus. We had a wonderful board meeting last night, so we'll just update you on a few of those highlights. We reviewed the strategic plan review belief that we believe a supportive environment fosters innovation in teaching and learning. And the board norm, the board will ensure that what one board member wants to know, all board members know. So those are some principles we follow and adhere to. Going through, again, summer school starts on the 27th on Tuesday. Make sure you're signed up for that. There is a new incentive for students that are attending based off of attendance, a little bit of monetary incentive for them. So if you haven't seen that, go to our website and you can learn all the details about that. So we look forward to that. Our Board of Education will continue learning and growing this summer. We have some School Board Association training, so they'll be attending those events this summer. They work hard to be the best they can. One of the things that we were able to highlight this year, and I know we've announced it, but just again to say that we have received multiple awards. Actually, every building was recognized as Best of Southwest Missouri. We had the high school, intermediate school, elementary school, and the primary school receive gold recognition. And then our silver recipients were Table Rock Career Center and our middle school. We appreciate all that they do and all the support within our community to nominate us for that award. We had a wonderful high school graduation. It was absolutely amazing. Some wonderful speeches, some memorable speeches, and just a great event. We wish our graduating seniors the best of luck as they move forward into their next year's seniors or juniors that are seniors after today. It'll be here before you know it, so gear up for that. We had just updated our board on our building school improvement plan meetings. We met with all of our building teams. We are so appreciative of all the work that's happening in our buildings. We saw a lot of highlights in enhanced collaboration. As I've shared with the board last night, that our strategic plan, our last strategic plan that we wrapped up, just are wrapping up, had a lot of things that to the public were very visual. Obviously, when you build a building or put a park in or do those types of things, it's easy to see those things. But some of the things that are maybe not as visible are what's happening day to day in the classroom. And so to be able to meet with our building leadership teams and have them present on their goals and their progress toward those goals, to share with us some of their continued challenges. I can say that professional learning is continuing to expand, professional collaborations. We're getting learning standards and goals more centered in front of kids. So that's something we'll continue to dive into. Some progress with student data, and we still have some work to do. So we know that we're heading in a great direction. We wrapped up our legislative session. Amanda Rogers, our MSBA delegate for our legislative platform, she provided us an update. There were several bills. Actually ended up being a really relatively positive session for schools. We're closely monitoring the state budget, while the legislative groups, they did end up passing through a budget that was fully funding schools. We recognize that there's a high likelihood that that still may not happen, depending on how Governor Kehoe responds to those changes in the budget. But either way, we're moving forward. There are some other legislative pieces that we'll share out that will have impact to schools in the future. But as we get more guidance on those specifically and as they're signed by the governor, we'll share those out. One of those specifically being a no cell phone in school policy that's now become law. So I'll explain all that later. It doesn't really impact us now because from an instructional standpoint, students should not have their cell phones on in class, but now there is a little bit more teeth to it with a policy. So once we get all the guidelines on that, there is a policy, related to sports and students that are homeschooled. So there's just a lot of things that are moving, but we'll update you on those down the road. We appreciate the City of Reed Springs working with us as we develop a stronger partnership with our water agreement to address future water issues. Our board strongly feels that The Reed Spring City needs to make a firm commitment to not leave us stranded like they have in the past, that they rise up and stand up and have better preparations to keep their this number one group of students engaged. We are their biggest, obviously their biggest a source of revenue in the school. So it's a big deal for them, and we hope that they will finalize that agreement soon. Our board is pretty firm on the language in that agreement, so we'll continue to move forward in that regard. But we appreciate they've been really cooperative. The group at Reed Spring are really trying to make some changes to address those concerns. So we do appreciate all that they've done, and the board just continues to want to emphasize the importance of creating a strong bond and a strong commitment to our schools and our community. We had great things happening, obviously, with our PR director and all the work that Director of Communications does for us, Ben Fisher. We appreciate all his efforts. We presented the summer school plan. I mentioned that already, so sign up, attend. That'd be great. Jason Reinsch, our Director of Facilities Custodial Maintenance, presented a TIPS purchasing model. This was a discussion about TIPS, which is essentially it is a purchasing cooperative that allows us to go out and have vendors do work for us through RFPs and RFQs that have already been vetted out and already have gone through that entire process, all the legal review, all the qualification standards, all the referencing through a cooperative purchasing model, so it can save us money and time when we are pursuing those. So, for example, we are re-roofing the roof at the football stadium because it's in serious, desperate need. So we went through TIPS pricing to do that. It ensures competitiveness in quality and performance, as well as pricing. May not always be the best price, but we also, when we go to look at bids, we look at pricing as a huge factor, but we also look at quality of service, history, references, all those types of things that play into ultimately the decision that we try to make. And so for that example, for that roofing project, we went through TIPS, which expedited the process, allowed us to get competitive bidding. There was actually 377 vendors who put in for those bids in terms of that roofing RFP. And so we were able to get that process going and satisfy the legal requirements for bidding. We do follow all those legal requirements for our bids. There is a food service bid that has been put out by Jeff Westerholt, our food service director. It's a request for bids for milk, bread, and produce. And so that is being pushed out. So if you are in that market, submit a bid. A new science curriculum and resources were approved. In terms of purchasing those this year, we had our PE departments and our science departments collaborate and work professionally to vertically align to talk about what best resources they need to look at curriculum. Dr. Kite presented that curriculum last night to the board, and the board approved the curriculum. So we'll continue to move forward and with those curriculum adjustments as we integrate those new resources in the years to come. The board had a handful of policies that they were adopted, that they were required to adopt. Some of those were by law. Some of those had made a few adjustments to some financial pieces. So you can see our all of our district policies are on the website. So if you want to search them, you can go there and do a search and you can find all of our policies. So the board did approve those. We are transitioning. The board approved my recommendation to bring on and transition all of our board documents, the way we manage all of our board materials, into an online software platform called Simbly. So it's going to make us much more efficient. This is more for staff, administrators specifically, who are utilizing those tools to submit to me documentation that we need to present to the board. And so it's just going to really streamline that. It's also going to help our board meetings be a little bit more efficient for our board members and flow. So we are going to begin that integration this summer with hopefully kicking that off soon. Last but not least, and this is the biggest part of the conversation, is that last night the board approved our new strategic plan. We are so excited. And first and foremost, I want to say congratulations to everyone. I want to say how proud I am of the work that's been done. This has been an amazing year. This year we also tackled the Portrait of a Graduate, which was adopted by the board previously. And so that's going to be integrated, and you'll see layers of that within our new strategic plan. Our action team leaders and all of our action team members who've been working for the last 4 months or so on developing action recommendations and specific results. We appreciate all the effort and energy. This is a celebration that your work did get approved, and we're moving forward. All the strategic plan team members who have come together on several meetings to develop this plan, good work. Way to go. We did it, and now the work is to happen. I'm not going to read through every strategic belief. There's a list of beliefs, and we've included, I really think we've left most of the beliefs that we had previously, but we've added some additional beliefs that center on attendance, that center on student ownership and agency, that center on portrait of a graduate. So there's some pieces in there that are really critical. Our conversation that we're having and our standard, I'll say that's our standard of excellence, and our standard has been set by our mission. Our mission statement remains the same. We exist to equip and inspire students to reach their maximum potential through a commitment to academic and personal excellence by providing an innovative, student-centered, world-class education in a relationship-driven community. Our mission plan is not changed. That is the bar. That is our aspirational bar, our standard that we're reaching towards. And so we, as a school district, as administrative team, as administrators in the buildings, we are elevating those standards. Specifically going into next year, we're elevating the raising the bar of student growth and student achievement. And we feel like those are critical pieces. We want to see every kid deserves to come into school and leave making significant progress academically. We recognize that there are students who are also dealing with emotional and behavioral challenges. And so we have layers of supports in this new plan for them as well that we'll be diving into. But I just feel passionately that when we have a kid in the classroom and we're educating them, we should be able to get a year's worth of growth out of the kid. And so that is a comprehensive plan, including teacher work, staff work, administrator work, everybody on our team, students being owners of their learning, and our families at home supporting their work. So we're really excited about the direction of the district. Our parameters have changed a little bit differently as well. So there's a few, they're almost all the same, but there's 2 or 3 that are new. So review those parameters. Our objectives, we just changed one of the objectives to directly address implementing and integrating portrait of a graduate across all grade levels. Our strategies are as follows. Strategy 1 is to ensure every student is life ready with their own individual purpose and direction. This is creating future ready learners. This is where we start talking about academies and pathways and different opportunities for kids all across the spectrum of schools to have an experience kind of like we're experiencing at our career center, where they're exposed to career paths and opportunities at a young age so they can begin exploring those opportunities. Strategy 2 is all about student agency. We'll cultivate student agency across the district. Student agency is the capacity of students to take ownership of their learning by setting goals. Big part of it is setting goals, making decisions, and acting with purpose to achieve academic and personal growth. It emphasizes developing the skills, mindset, and voice necessary for students to act autonomously, collaborate meaningfully, and reflect on their learning to drive improvement. So it's student-owned, personalized learning. Those 2 strategies are significant. I will say this, as I've said multiple times already in multiple groups, this strategic plan is a lot more challenging. The last plan, we had a lot more flashy, check it off the box kind of thing. Some of that was more operational. This plan is all basically just student-centered, student-focused academically, which is exactly how we wanted it. This is what we are really excited about. But please note, it also is going to require a significant amount of paradigm shifts on how we operate and educate kids. We have elements of all this work happening in our classrooms across the district now. It's just going to go to a deeper level when we talk about competency-based learning, individual progression, student goal monitoring. I will also say this to all of our staff members who are listening. This is visible learning at its finest. Visible learning is integrated in everything that we do. We're going to be measuring our impact at a higher level, and then just integrating best practices with our kids. So there is a commitment, a high level of commitment from us to teach bell to bell, to work hard, and to continue integrating a strong approach. We have a great team to do that, great leadership group in our buildings, a lot of good things happening, but this is the biggest part of our work. Strategy 3 is student opportunities. This is opportunities to enhance student engagement through expansion of opportunities. This could be expansion of athletics. This could be expansion of different programs and clubs. This could be expansion of academic pieces in the classroom. So we'll be exploring all those avenues. What do kids want to do to be interested in that? What can we provide that kids will be engaged in, that they'll be interested in? Also, we'll look at what barriers are in place now that are preventing kids from participating. Is it communication issues? Is it transportation issues? All those types of things that we need to look at. We know that kids that are engaged in all these activities perform better in the classroom and ultimately become better human beings, which is the ultimate goal. Strategy number 5 is it's a facilities and growth strategy. So it really is kind of the wraparound of all those other strategies. How do we ensure that we have future ready classrooms? How do we ensure that kids can have a place where they can be self-agents, where they can self-monitor and progress? How do we ensure that if we're going to expand opportunities, current programming or future programming, that we have the facilities to accommodate that growth? How do we take care of, oh gosh, I think I skipped one. I'll come back to it because this one, next one's important. But how do we take care of strategy 4, which is meeting the social? I'm just to say it. Strategy 4 is meet students' social, emotional, and behavioral needs. So facilities is how do we meet the demands of that strategy? And so and also looking at our facility plans and what buildings are struggling. We do have a specific need, our most chronic building that really is in dire need is our intermediate school. There's foundational issues. You can actually be in classrooms and see outside through the brick. There's a lot of problems in that building that we're going to need to address in the next few years. So we'll share all that and work through that in the months and years to come. Strategy 4, I cannot believe I missed it because it was one of the most critical. Again, we'll meet students' social, emotional, behavioral needs. This will be looking at how we're addressing those behavioral needs in a systematic way across the district. It'll be looking at how do we continue to support through social working and council work and all the things that our teachers are doing day in and day out. It'll be looking at students in the 7-12 model of how can we provide alternative programming for these kids. We have a lot of kids that maybe the regular school setting isn't right for them at the moment. And so can we create a structure that will be better suited for them so they can be exposed to grade level standards in an environment that makes sense for them. And then from early learners to 6th grade population, how can we provide that kind of environment maybe in their classroom or maybe in their building? So I don't have all the answers to that, but it will require some facility progress, some facility issues to address that. One of those more likely being that we will expand alternative school programming into central office where this location is. So we'll have to be relocated. Again, more to come on those types of things, but the priority being we have students who are not functioning at the level that they want to be or we want them to be in the classroom. And so we need to begin to look at better placement opportunities for those kids at times. It's complicated. I'm making statements in very brief statements. So there's a lot to it, but that strategy will be super, super essential as we continue to move forward. Then we have a strategy in there, strategy 6, which is more of a compliance or a requirement by the Department of Education that we have to have in our strategic plan that essentially says we will follow all of the Missouri School Improvement Plan directives that are outlined by the statute. So that's in there as well. We have done it. We've wrapped up the strategic plan, and now we are tasked to put this to work. And so just to close up, I see I'm almost at 20 minutes. This plan, we probably aren't going to refer to it as Vision 2030, although it's hard for me not to want to do that because we did Vision 2025, because this plan may take longer than 5 years. It may take shorter than 5 years. I just want, from a public standpoint, for you to understand that this plan may take a little bit longer time to implement because there's some really deep moving strategies. So we'll figure out how we'll coin that. But bottom line, we're providing the best education possible we can for our kids. We're moving in a great direction. Your support at home and in the classroom is so critical. Appreciate all that you do. Have a wonderful summer. Enjoy time with family. Get ready for a wonderful and amazing 2025-26 school year. Thanks, everyone.